Alright boys, this one's gonna be a big one. We're gonna be talking about update 4.1.0, the big one, the one that launched with this season, the one that was supposed to change everything for the good. Now we made a video a while back where I stated that I felt uneasy. The more and more I read into the TWABs, and the more we looked into it, the more I started to wonder about this whole airborne effectiveness thing. It seemed like a nerf. And let me mention something, when Bungie takes 4,000 words to describe a single sandbox change, it normally is a finessing of some sorts, right? Like every few hundred words is just to lube you up for the inevitable nerf that sandbox change is bringing. Now, I'm not just gonna sit here and beat my chest and say, hey, airborne effectiveness sucks ass, even though it does. Instead, I will back it up with some testing, and then I will repeat, airborne effectiveness sucks ass. It sucks so much ass that I'm literally gonna quit PvP if it stays like this. Now, before we get into airborne testing, we gotta bring up Flinch, okay? Because those two are intertwined. First up, with update 4.1.0, there's multiple ways to build into Flinch resists. Examples, weapon stability, resilience, unflinching armor mods. Now, there are also more examples that require build crafting, such as no distractions, Sura synergy, rally barricade, wings of sacred dawn. I know, kind of crazy. Wings actually does reduce flinch on top of improving airborne effectiveness. Now, I'm assuming Bungie is actually going to be updating other pieces of armor that will also combat flinch, but here's a list of multipliers that we know. No distractions, 0.65. Sura synergy, 0.8. One unflinching mod, 0.75. Two unflinching mods, 0.7. Rally barricade, 0.5. 10 resilience, 0.9. 100 stability on an auto rifle, 0.75. Again, stability varies per archetype. 100 stability on a sniper rifle, 0.9. Now, we tested all of this, and you can see huge differences in flinch when you build into it. We actually tried to max out our flinch resistance with the sniper rifle and got it to 83%. And quite literally, your reticle does not leave the head. Now, of course, you gotta build into this pretty hard. And when you have things like Sura synergy and rally barricade, you don't always have the luxury of having these things up. It's just surprising though, considering that Bungie was talking about how special weapons, especially snipers, will be taking more increased flinch in this sandbox, yet you have the ability to combat flinch to this degree with your sniper rifle. And then Bungie also states that if special usage doesn't go down, they were going to take more drastic measures in the future in dealing with special weapon usage. Now, using just static buffs to unflinching that you can always have available, things like unflinching mods, resilience, stability, the flinch resistance is still good, but much more reasonable. Interesting note here about hand cannons. Hand cannon flinch appears to be the same no matter what, no matter how much unflinching you put on. And all of our testing, exotics, high caliber rounds, normal legendaries, hand cannons did not do reduced flinch. So you may want to consider running a high rate of fire hand cannon to constantly pepper your enemies with flinch. By the way, the changes to mouse and keyboard are also reflected on controller. Honestly, I like the direction flinch has gone. I'm scratching my head with the sniper rifle thing, but everything else is good. Why? Because you can actually build into it. You want more flinch resist? Resilience. You want a variety of perks, couple exotics here and there, some origin traits to also combat flinch? Go right ahead. Now the hand cannon thing there is a little funky, especially like high caliber rounds, which by the way, used to offer a pretty nice benefit in the previous sandboxes. Seems to just be doing nothing. Again though, more testing on that. Overall though, where flinch is, I am okay with it. This is where this video is gonna deviate, and I may come off slightly toxic, but two words, airborne effectiveness is such a lie. This should be called airborne ineffectiveness. And in a game of Destiny, where literally stepping on a rock results in you being supposedly airborne, this is a problem. Airborne effectiveness is supposed to be very simple. All weapons have an airborne stat based on their archetype, as well as if it's an exotic, former trials and nightfall weapons, and any new weapons have hand-tuned airborne stats. You can also increase your airborne effectiveness with subclass aspects or fragments, as well as exotic armor. Yes, look at Bungie trying to really fluff this, make it sound good. Subclasses that benefit greatly here. Heat rises. You get plus 70 when you consume your grenade on heat rises, which is actually a pretty easy setup, right? You just go into a game, you got high discipline, you eat your nade, voila, let's go. The tempered metal solar fragment. Now, nowhere near as easy to build into. Solar weapon final blows grant you and your allies increased recovery for a short duration, stacked up to 3 times, and while Ember of Tempering is active, your weapons have increased airborne effectiveness by only plus 20. Whisper of Hedron stasis fragment, plus 20. And then of course, a number of exotic armor pieces that offer both benefit benefits and penalties. Stompies giving -50, Lion Rampants giving +100, but only from the hip. Peacekeepers giving +40 on SMGs only. Celestial Nighthawk giving +100, but only for Celestial Nighthawk Super, which is really weird. Lucky Pants giving +20 to only hand cannons. Grease giving +10. Wings of Sacred Dawn at +50. Nezarec Sin with +20 to void weapons only. And Necrotic Grips +20 for weapons of sorrow only. But wait, Cross, that's only like a handful of exotics. What about the rest of them? What about the rest of them? You play the way Bungie wants you to play, son. Now, there's also another source of airborne effectiveness that can be increased by a simple mod, and that is Icarus Grip. But understand, Icarus Grip is far from what it used to be. Icarus Grip is like the equivalent of nothing. It's a small, minuscule adjustment to airborne effectiveness, and honestly, it's just to make you feel better. You also have Air Assault perk, which I know Bungie's trying to make that meta. Whatever. I guess I might use it. At this point, it's not like I'm wanting to use Air Assault because it's a good perk. It's just because I may have to use Air Assault, right? Now, we tested this, and there is a noticeable difference in precision accuracy cone that is greatly reduced when fighting in the air. And the problem is that the threshold seems to be 70 or more to really get the benefits here, to really start seeing your shots lining up similar to how they used to line up previously. Bungie states in 4.1.0 that bullet randomness has been completely removed from primary weapons, meaning that all your bullets should only go where your reticle is located. But in our testing, this was not the case. In air, multiple of our bullets would go off to the side completely off target while in air. And this wouldn't happen when our boots were on the ground. Here's the thing. This is what blows my mind about all this. Bungie rolls out and does this huge sweeping change called airborne effectiveness. Why? The only reason why is because they wanted to nerf stompies. They wanted to nerf all these hoppity hunters running around. Well, hell, if you just wanted to nerf stompies or hoppity hunters, then just nerf stompies. Why even put forth a system like this? And we can all sit here and read the same thing over and over, whether it's TWABs, whether it's the patch notes, and we can agree with the logic, but the point I'm trying to make is that the game feels noticeably worse inside of PvP since the beginning of this season. And with so many limited options to build into airborne effectiveness, why was this ever even shipped? For the most part, we all said the same thing. You know what? We got some cheesy stuff in this game, but hot damn, gunplay in Destiny sure feels nice. This change alone takes away from that magic, takes away from that oh so powerful Bungie has the best gunplay out there, that's why you should give it a go. This undermines that to the point that I found myself playing Halo last night. Why? Because I could jump in the air and shoot, and we only got one jump inside of Halo. Dude, inside of Destiny 2, we've got tons of jumps. Everyone's got double jump. Hell, you got people with triple jump, you got floating warlocks. Airborne gameplay is very much a part of Destiny. This change to airborne effectiveness only helps one type of player, and it's the person that literally never hits the jump button, the person that literally walks around like a bot. And if you ask me, Cross, why do you feel so passionate about this right now? Because I have seen this exact same change in Destiny 1, and it blows my mind that somehow, some way, we're working backwards yet again. And instead of actually giving us this sandbox change with a host of ways to boost airborne effectiveness and to actually give us an ability to build into it, even though they state that we can build into it now, we really can't unless you just want to munch down a grenade every single game. Not all of us play warlocks, floofy boys. This system should have never been put into the game yet. Now, I reached out to QJ because he has a way of breaking things down that's a little more tame than my own, and he actually states pretty much the same thing that I said, that the biggest issue is we can't truly build craft into airborne effectiveness. Airborne effectiveness needs armor mods, like on boots, since scavenger mods have essentially been turned off inside of PvP, and character stats that boost it, like resilience for Flinch. And he actually even brought up that this would be a great opportunity for Bungie to introduce handling to build craft into airborne effectiveness, if we so want to go in this direction. And that the second thing we need is for there to be no additional accuracy penalty for being in the air versus being on the ground. The airborne effectiveness stat should just be a scalar on aim assist. So even at 0 airborne effectiveness, your accuracy would be the same as on the ground, but your aim assist would be reduced. Right now, primary ammo weapons have an accuracy penalty all the way until you hit 60 on airborne effectiveness, which is why everything feels like utter shite since this sandbox has gone live. Now, Bungie so wishes to keep this system in place, and honestly, I wish wish they wouldn't. Honestly, I wish they would come out and reverse this change, but I know Bungie, you guys, you've already put dev time into this. You want to do it. Fine, we'll freaking do it. I'm just letting you know I don't like it. But if you so wish to keep this system in the game, Airborne Effectiveness needs to be tied to a stat. Handling would be perfect. Essentially, guys, your weapon would get more Airborne Effectiveness as you increase its handling stats. But again, back to my original point. The Airborne Effectiveness stat should just be a scalar on aim assist. That's it. In the proper build crafting going forward would look something like 100 handling on a weapon, an Icarus grip mod, a couple Airborne Effectiveness boot mods, and then of course specific exotics or subclass abilities that add into Airborne Effectiveness. There is your build crafting. Kuj put it perfectly. And at the end of the day, even if you had 0 Airborne Effectiveness, you would still have perfect accuracy. Jesus, for the love of God, your shot should go where your reticle is. And it would still result in Stompies being a heavy nerf, since Stompies give you minus 50 Airborne Effectiveness. This whole system had an obvious intention to nerf aerial gameplay. And I gotta ask you, Bungie, do you even know what Destiny 2 is built on? A huge skill set inside of Destiny is movement. Movement is every bit a part of Destiny, as is the gunplay. And in a single sandbox change, you have killed both of those things for me. And look, if I'm in the minority here, that's fine. I will get my PvP itch off somewhere else. But as someone who covers this game, who plays PvP just for the sake of playing PvP, man, and I suddenly find myself going, man, this feels noticeably worse. Man, the way I've been playing for years now is suddenly a shite way to play. I gotta keep my booty on the ground. And in doing so, this change really is a skill gap reducer, which by the way, that's pretty much what the sandbox team was doing in year 3 of Destiny 1, skill gap reducing. So I don't know who it is. I don't know who's making these sweeping changes. All I can tell you, I don't like it. And I'm one for all kinds of change. I love change. I love it when Sandbox throws us some more Sandbox changes. Why? Because we get to make videos on it. I don't like making this video. Not even a little. This is just bad. I hate this. And nobody's attacking devs, and I'm giving proper feedback. But my feedback will be littered with my opinion. And my opinion right now is that this is shite, okay? There's no other way around it. It's shite. You done killed the game for me. Hopefully Bungie fixes this. And if not, all right. Hi, my name is Aztecross. I do raid and dungeon guides, and I talk about lore. I don't even know what PvP means. Fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching. And as always,
Slap that like button like your mama told you right.